It entered the room with a tray carrying 2 drinks and a variety of snacks, giving a careful curtsy, despite the challenge of wearing high heels and balancing the tray. It made its way toward the bed. "Where were you?" "I needed these drinks an hour ago," the man shouted, visibly frustrated. "I'm sorry, I couldn't find one of the bottles." With that, the tray was placed on the bed, and it stepped back, lowering its head respectfully. On the bed, a man and a woman sat, seemingly having just finished. The man chuckled at the sight before him, a figure about 6 feet 2 inches, wearing a French-made costume, with permed blonde hair and bold makeup. "So, how does it feel to watch your wife with someone else?" the man taunted. The figure stood silently, enduring the insults. "Leave him be, Sam. Maybe next time, he can bring a boy for you," the woman said, laughing. "Mistress, may I leave now?" it asked quietly. "No, you stay until I say otherwise," she snapped. "Now go clean up the kitchen," she added with disdain. It left the room and made its way downstairs, waiting. Jack Parker estimated that the chemical in their drinks would take about 20 minutes to take effect. He got to work, putting on a pair of disposable rubber gloves, loading a revolver with a silencer, and slipping it into his uniform pocket. He then carefully reviewed his plan, waiting for the right moment. Jack reflected on how everything had begun. He truly loved his wife, and when her friend, Peg, suggested a little spice might improve their marriage, he was open to the idea. At first, it was fun, he didn't mind. But then Peg suggested Jack try wearing panties just for fun. Why not, he thought at the time. That was the beginning of the downward spiral. She gradually took control of his life. He lost his job after rumors circulated at work about his gender identity, rumors that Peg had spread. With him at home, she suggested he do some of the housework, which soon turned into all of it. And then, she insisted that since he was doing the housework, he should take on the role of the housewife or at least the maid. Before long, he found himself in frilly maid uniforms. He was no longer the man of the house, and the last of his boxers had been used to clean the kitchen floor. The only male clothes in the house were those she brought home after spending time with other men, which was happening more often. He was increasingly ignored, insulted, and humiliated. His feelings didn't seem to matter at all. Well, Jack thought, that's going to change soon. Jack made his way upstairs to check on his wife. In the bed, there were 2 people asleep. He gently shook them awake. "Good," he murmured. "They're both out cold." With his gloved hand, he retrieved the weapon from his uniform pocket. The room had a hidden camera for her use, so he checked it and removed the film. He then carefully inspected the pistol, wiping it clean with the sheet from the bed. He moved over to the man in the bed and checked his right hand. Calluses. "Aha, he's right-handed," Jack noted. He placed the weapon in the man's right hand and carefully closed his fingers around the trigger, adjusting to ensure proper positioning. With his own gloved hand, he guided the man's hand to point the weapon at his wife. Jack thought for a moment, if I were drunk, the aim wouldn't be perfect, and pulled the trigger, aiming at various parts of her body, making sure at least 2 shots were fatal. After leaving the gun in the man's hand, Jack gathered the tray from the bed, went downstairs, and washed the dishes, putting them away. Let's see, Jack thought to himself, I've got 2,000 in another bank, enough to make a fresh start somewhere. He went down to the basement and opened a trunk. Inside, he found the male clothes he had stashed away for an escape. Grabbing a large shopping bag, he filled it with the clothes and carried it upstairs. He should be out for another 4 or 5 hours, Jack mused, slipping on the maid's cloth coat. I can't wait to see his face when he wakes up. With his gloved hand, Jack unlocked the front door, looking like a maid heading out for errands. He made his way to the old car, opened it, placed the shopping bag on the passenger seat, started the engine, and drove off. After driving for about 10 miles, he pulled into a shopping center. There, he removed the maid's uniform and dressed as a man for the first time in years. He tossed the uniform into the shopping bag and drove to a dumpster. He discarded the rubber gloves, tossing one into the trash. He then drove to another shopping center and repeated the process, disposing of the uniform and coat in pieces as he went, each at a different location. For some reason, Jack felt a burst of joy and started humming, "I'll be glad when you're gone." He laughed, adding, "Ding, dong, the witch is dead."